This is your stability and mobility day. So we're not gonna do anything intense today. Today is a day to reset. We're not breaking down any muscle tissue. We're only gonna work on stability and mobility throughout the joints and your musculature. So I'm gonna take you through a couple of exercises. The first one is a stretching series for your fascia, so self-myofascial release. I'll give you some options if you do not have a foam roller. And then we're gonna do some full body dynamic movements to test your balance and mobility. And then we're gonna work on some core stabilization and endurance right at the end. Have fun. Okay, we're starting with mobility. You're gonna grab a foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, you can grab a towel and roll it up. And I encourage you to also find a lacrosse ball or some sort of athletic ball that you can sit on if you do not have a foam roller. So I'll show you the foam roller options and the plan B in case you don't have a foam roller at home. So first one is for thoracic mobility. We're gonna open up your spine. So if you have the towel, you're gonna roll it up like this. You're gonna place it underneath of your mid-thoracic, so right in the middle of your back, and lay down. So knees are gonna be bent, head on the floor, feet on the floor. You're gonna put your arms over your head and down. Over your head and down. You'll do about 12 repetitions there. And then you're gonna reach your fingertips toward the knees and you're gonna sit up. You're gonna flex your trunk as if you were doing a sit-up. Though do not focus on the strength portion of this. We're just focusing on mobility. So you're reaching the fingertips up. You're tucking the chin. You're lifting your shoulder girdle off of the floor. You'll do about 20 repetitions there. That is opening up your thoracic musculature all the way up the spine. That is in case you do not have a foam roller. Second one is for your glutes. We're gonna open up your piriformis, which is a deep extensor in the gluteus muscles and also the glute max. So option B is to have a lacrosse ball or any type of athletic ball. You can also use a tennis ball, a golf ball, which is pretty intense, but it is an option. You're gonna put it right in the center of your butt cheek. And using your hands and legs for support, you're gonna roll around in that general center area of the glute. And then you can also hold right there. A progression, if that is not enough, you can lift the knee up and down off of the floor. Most of you should feel something in this because we all have very tight glutes. So those are your options: holding, rolling in a circle, or lifting that knee up and down off of the ball. You can spend about 2 minutes on each glute. And then your thoracic mobility for 12 to 20 repetitions. Four exercises to integrate stability and mobility around your joints and your functional musculature. So we're going to start with a squat to stand. So you're just going to drop down into a wide stance squat. You're going to lock your fingers around your big toes. And you can just take a second here and just sort of move around, wiggle those hips back and forth to let that range of motion settle in. So you can drop the hips. The knees are out to the side, so your feet are on about a 45-degree angle to the side. Toe lock. From here, you're going to send your hips straight up to the ceiling. Lengthen the legs. You're getting a nice stretch in the hamstrings. And then drop your hips right back down. Lengthen your hips up to the ceiling. Drop those hips right back down. You're going to do about 12 to 20 reps right there, or until you feel adequately mobile and stretched. This is just about mobility. We are not looking for any strength gains here. We're not looking to burn out any muscles. We're just opening up that range of motion and that pattern of motion. From there, you're gonna go to a single leg Romanian deadlift. So you're gonna find your balance on one leg. Really feel all 5 toes into that floor. Feel your heel into the floor, and then under the arch, you're gonna lift. So it's a nice tripod of support. Balance your hips. You can put your hands on your hips. If you want to reach the same side arm forward as you go through this exercise, you may, or you can keep your hands on the hips so you get a nice teeter-totter. All you want to do is just drop your spine forward as this leg counters your weight backwards. So teeter-totter, drop your trunk and your head forward, that leg goes behind you in opposition, and then bring it right back underneath of you. So stability exercise, Working on our balance. Reach forward, so you're reaching that right hip point down to the floor, should be equal to the left hip point, and back up. So it looks like from the side, find your balance. You're gonna pull your navel into your spine so your deep abdominals are engaged the entire time. Teeter-totter forward, and right back to standing. Find that nice tall posture. Tripod on the foot. You can reach our arm forward. You're gonna do about 8 to 10 repetitions on each side. And then we're gonna go to a stationary runner. So you have a nice split stance here. You're gonna bend your front leg, arms in opposition with that front leg, and you're just gonna bring that front knee up, finding your balance at the top. So it's a dynamic position. This should not be too challenging. We're just engaging all of that leg musculature and testing that stability that we just worked on in the last 2 exercises. So you have about 12 to 20 on each side, finding that balance. If you need a few extra on the weaker side, go for it. Your last exercise, you are gonna balance on one leg. That's it. You're gonna close your eyes. So find your balance, take your time here, and then gently close your eyes. If you need to drop your gaze to the floor to start, do so, and then you can go to a full eye close. And you're just gonna stand there as long as you can. Find that balance. Repeat on the other side, and then you'll repeat right and left one more time, just with that balance. Good luck. Here are your 3 exercises for your core stability. You're gonna come into a quadruped position, which means that you are on all 4s. Your wrists are gonna come underneath of your shoulders, your knees underneath of your hips. If you have longer arms than your quads, you can gently bend the elbow so that you have one straight line from your shoulders down to your hips. So you see I'm parallel to the floor instead of raised up like that. You wanna keep your head in line with your spine here. You're gonna take a deep belly breath, so you're gonna expand the belly, let it drop to the floor, and then draw the navel into your spine. That's gonna activate the deep abdominal muscles. From there, you're gonna lift one arm off of the floor and reach the opposite leg away from it. And you're gonna just try to balance there, keeping your abdominals engaged. You may have that elbow slightly bent. You're reaching your opposite thumb away from the big toe. So you're not gonna let the hips shift side to side. If you're looking at it from the front and then reaching opposite leg to foot, you're not gonna let this leg shift laterally. The belly is not gonna drop. These are the common mistakes that happen here. You just wanna stay nice and engaged and tight. The only thing that is happening is you're reaching that arm away from the leg. From there, you can bring your elbow and knee in and out. So you're just bending and extending the arms and the legs. You'll do 12 repetitions there. Reset, you can do a little cat-cow or a child's pose to release, and then you're gonna try all of that on the other side. So make sure that your shoulders are in line with the hips. Deep belly breath, engage the navel to the spine. Make sure your chin is up into the neck, and then reach opposite arm away from the leg. Find your stability there, and then you'll go 12 repetitions in and out. You're gonna repeat that, right and left, and then moving on to the second exercise. Same position, just showing you a different angle. Elbows bent. If you need to drop the torso down, you're gonna do a hydrant to the side. So you're lifting your knee up to the side like a dog peeing on a hydrant, and then back in. So we're firing up the glute medius here, which is a major stabilizer in hip function. So knee up to the side and back in, and same thing, you wanna make sure that this supporting leg is not moving laterally either direction. You wanna make sure that the belly is not protruding. Just a nice lift, up and down. You're gonna do 24 repetitions there. Repeat on the other side. And then you can go right and left one more time. But again, this is not about strength, this is about stability and mobility. Your final exercise is going to be on your back. You're gonna lift your legs up to tabletop. You're gonna put your hands underneath of your lumbar spine, so there should be a natural curve there, which should line up with your belly button. It also lines up with your L3 in your lumbar spine. So right in that curve, put your hands underneath. Deep belly breath, you're gonna draw the navel into your spine, but it's gonna create pressure on your hands into the floor. So you have a tabletop position here with the legs. Your head is nice and relaxed. From here, you're gonna gently drop one toe towards the floor, keeping that 90-degree angle with the leg. Touch it down, and then bring it right back up. So you can see my feet. Drop one foot down and right back up. Alternate left side. So you're just tapping right to left, and you're making sure that you have pressure into the floor, into your hands, below the lumbar spine the entire time. That is going to ensure that your deep abdominals are engaged the entire time. Progressions, you can drop both feet at the same time, but just make sure this does not happen. You're not going to release the spine or release the belly. We have to stay super tight in here, so only go as far as you can. If you go halfway with the feet and then come right back up, that is fine. If you're advanced, you can touch all the way down to the floor and come right back up. You're gonna do 15 to 20 repetitions, 30 times through.